My name is Antonia Liguori. I am a professor of participatory storytelling and public policy at the School of Social Sciences, Humanities and Law at Teesside University in the northeast of England. And I'm also involved in the Institute for Collective Place Leadership, where I'm currently coordinating a new strand of research that is about imaginative and innovative places. As part of my research and experience in facilitating digital storytelling workshops, I've been exploring different techniques to actually support, let's say, the collaborative element of storytelling, focusing in particular in storytelling and story listening. So if we think about the conventional digital storytelling model that goes through 5 creative steps, I've been very often adding a new technique. That is a storyboarding technique that I tend to run as a collaborative exercise. So what I do, and especially with international students, international participants, or participants who may have barriers in engaging with the story circle, so sharing verbally their story in front of a larger group. What I do is to design an activity where they share stories in pairs. So there is one person that shared the story verbally just to another friend, another peer in the group. And the second person is actually capturing with drawings and notes on a storyboarding template the story that they are just listening. And then they swap. So the listener becomes the teller, and the other person then will capture the story on the storyboard. The reason why I tend to facilitate this activity is, first of all, to support a more intimate dialogue between two people, and therefore enhance the sort of empathy, the empathy and trust that we tend to facilitate during the story circle for a larger group. And this more intimate space is much more effective and successful, especially when we are sharing stories about something that is very deep and very personal, or we are somehow addressing personal challenges or reporting on something that is hard to actually share with a larger audience. Storytelling is a collective act, is a collaborative act, and by its own nature is therefore quite impactful within social dynamics. So in my experience, I think that there are different ways of exploring, the sort of telling listening loop and the benefits to address specific personal issues, thinking about anxiety, for example. I ran a workshop with one of my participants. So one of the things I tend to do with participants is then to facilitate workshops together to make them feel more part of the process, and that therefore somehow not feel judged about the story they're going to share, but also perceive the difficulties of facilitating certain workshops and having those conversations, but also to have them share their own first-hand experience of being involved in a digital storytelling workshop that could be beneficial for people who are actually affected by or are experiencing something very similar to them. And I remember this particular participant, when she was introducing the story circle, she said that she actually didn't participate to the story circle when she was in the workshop because she felt even more anxious. And therefore, that was quite a good starting point because also gave everyone the opportunity to be silent. So storytelling is not just about sharing verbally what we feel, but it's about active listening and making sure that each participant has got an active role, even if they feel that they are not fully participating, but actually active participation, active listening, prompting discussions is as important as sharing their own personal story. So very often as a facilitator, I experience some challenges in terms of how to prompt conversations about feelings and emotions. There are different techniques we can apply to prompt conversations and make everyone feel happy and comfortable and confident in their own way of sharing a story. Something I've been recently experiencing in a project I ran with the UK Mental Health Foundation was to support peer learning within digital storytelling, where let's say the professional facilitator was somehow during the workshop enabling peer conversations instead of actually having a role in somehow facilitating and driving and prompting those conversations. And we also identified in this project the benefits of the ones who are affected or the ones who are the protagonists of those challenges we are exploring in designing the actual creative process as well. So that is not just about giving them the power to decide what to say, but actually giving them the power to design a new process, a new storytelling process that using the tools and the different creative steps, they feel they are the most appropriate to actually address that specific challenge. So I think as a keyword, probably two keywords to respond to these questions would be, one is about peer support and peer facilitation and peer learning. And the other one is including a co-design as part of the digital storytelling process in a way that is tailored to the needs and the context.